Welcome to the Snake Tank,
Hi. Welcome.
episode number 1, Year of the Snake, right?
Really is the aeroplane. Like, I feel it in my sixth eye, you know?
Sick, not
Yeah.
third yet.
Like, double it, why don't you?
No,
You know what I mean? Like,
and we're both in our Saturn return,
we are, which
27.
feels like I don't know the logistics of a Saturn return, but like, it kind of feels like like, the snake eating its own tail mocks at, you know? Like, kind of like
Completely.
the Aurora Boreas or whatever.
Borealis.
I don't know how you say it. Bad at pronouncing. But the key point was that it's about like being eternal.
Completely.
Like being a full circle is like being eternal, and I feel like I don't know, I feel quite eternal this year.
I feel quite
you.
eternal as well. I feel like it's kind of like you either succeed or you succumb to the 27
Club at
club.
all.
Wow, that was dark, but like, I feel like it's like squeaky. Like, so yeah, I feel like either succumb, whatever that is, like even just like not give up, but kind of like accept things, or either like turn on its head. And I feel like
because I feel like we've been like working like our like tooth and nail to like polish what we've been working on.
And this year felt like the crowning of a lot of things. Like,
yeah. And now going into like the new year, it feels very much like we know exactly what we want, and like we're just going for it, which is just fierce.
It's really fierce.
So fierce.
I think like we can give a bit of context to why this think tank kind of was born. We were gonna do we called it a round table, whatever that meant at the time, but we wanted to get everyone together after filming the
like disciples.
The disciples.
Like literally the disciples.
The 12 disciples. Fucking out. But yeah, we were gonna get everyone together after we filmed the video for my first single, Bright Core, and that Nova directed. We were gonna get I sure did.
That was me.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah, we were gonna get everyone together and have a little like round table about all the different bits and pieces that went into the video, and then that kind of never happened because the same week that we released the video, we also went to print with OR, which was also a family effort.
Yeah.
So it never happened, and then Nova kind of texted me one night. Was like, "What do you want to say about Fish Tank, maybe?" Or
oh, I was just gonna say like another like reason why we called it the Snake Tank was because of I don't know if you guys know the like Andrea Arnold film, which is like really stunning, and it's like very UK centric.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we're in the UK and it's the year of the snake, so let's just do a fucking snake tank.
I know. And here we are, and hence why the red filter on this.
Yeah, we've put like a sexy little red hue on this bitch. It's a brothel in here.
It's a brothel in here, for sure.
At Club Boa.
The Club Boa of it all. No, for real. More on Club Boa.
Yeah, Club Boa coming soon.
Will come way further down the line. I guess, where should we go from here?
I don't know. I mean, are we carrying on with the snake? Like,
I mean, you are the snake woman.
Like, I do feel a very personal affinity to like a snake, and I always have since I had like this crazy dream a couple of years ago. But like, yeah, I feel like she's kind of been like my like guiding compass kind of thing. So like to land the 27 in this year just feels really profound. I don't know whether I'm just like reading too much into that, but it's just like how I feel. You know?
Completely. Since we said we're talking about the year of the snake, should we do like New Year's resolution or?
Yeah, New Year's resolution. I think like for me, like something I struggle with is like routine.
Yeah.
And like, especially when you like kind of work for yourself and like all of these things, it's kind of like you have to like, I don't know, I just feel like it benefits you a lot if you have like a really like strict routine kind of. Because I'm such a like free mind, body, and soul. But sometimes you just need to like
Package it
and like put it on the right delivery truck, you know?
Not the delivery truck.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, completely.
Yeah, that's my 2 bets.
I think I'm like the same on the routine aspect. I was actually having a chat with Riley this morning, who I ran art with for you guys, whoever this is.
Listening in.
We was having a chat with them, and I'm gonna go see them in Berlin. I didn't actually tell you this, but going to Berlin in February for 4 years, 4 days to work on some client stuff, and we are kind of gonna do a prototype of like our ideal day. So we're gonna like wake up at like 6:30, go to the gym together, because we figured out that their gym has a free trial. So we're gonna go to the gym, do a block of work, go out for lunch, come back, do another block of work, and then do some socializing in the evening, like some mooching about.
So adult.
But also like it's so weird because we both have fantasized about that and we can actually just do it. But that's the beauty of like working for yourself. But it's also like spooky when you haven't got that down, and it's also really hard for me. I was sending that to Riley, I think, because like there's like 2 sides to what I do, and one is like very like grind set and like very like kind of like routine based, and then there's the music which I can't really work on properly during the day hours, or at least like the inspiration strikes later on, and then playing shows is always like a 3 a.m. kind of affair. So I'm like, where do I find the balance with that? But I'm working on it. So I guess that was a long-winded way to say it's probably my same resolution. And also like
balance is good.
Balance is really good.
Like the black and the white of it all. You know?
Diva.
Is a female version of a what?
Hustler. You're about to get really gay up in here.
Really faggotina.
But yeah, for the audio only listeners, we always had this like black and white motif going on.
Yeah, like just think like a black and white poster or something. I don't know. Something.
The Warhol of it all.
Yeah. Warhol of it all.
The pop art.
The pop farts.
The pop farts. I'm putting the art back on the soup can.
Yeah, put
on the Diet Coke can.
Yeah, put it back on the Diet Coke can. Here we are. Sponsor us. Diet Coke.
Literally. What was I gonna say? We said we're gonna dive into the neuromantics of it all. Maybe we should. Do you know what? We should do highlights, cultural highlights of the last year and things we were obsessed with. But we pick like 3 things.
Like so many.
No, but 3 each.
Okay, like do you wanna go first?
Okay. First one, I'd say like last year's obsession was Boy George and everything that like went along. Boy George was a catalyst for graphic kind of like hairline shapes, which were a motif that we're going to carry through 2025. Stay tuned, that's all I can say. And yeah, just all the like neuromantics from the 80s and all the 80s guiche of it all. I don't know, there was like a really specific, like really specifically gay and flamboyant moment in pop music, and it was kind of like dominated by all these like queer people from the UK, and it was just really inspiring. And just the guiche of it all, the graphicness, the boldness, the campness, but also there's like a really like dark hue to all of it, which was a big inspiration for like brightcore and all the visual identity for the music and house off and stuff.
Yeah, because I feel like it's so romantic because it's so like heavy. Like it was such a heavy time, I feel like.
Completely, and it's kind of like it's quite austere, like in the way that like Thatcher was, like around that time, and it feels really austere now, even though Labour is in power, whatever. It's still like dark as fuck. And I don't know. Yeah, there's like we're kind of trying to like rebuild that motif, but in an abstract. I've picked up motif from you now. I keep saying it.
What motif?
Yeah,
Motif is such a fun word to say. It's just so cunty somehow.
it's so content.
Motif.
Motif.
Like I imagine her with a double F-E. You know.
Motif.
Mm.
Oh my god, I need to
Fifi.
to Fifi boots.
Oh my god.
Honey. But yeah, it's like something that we're trying to like carry through, and it, like I think it was like the last half off. We thought we was gonna like it was gonna flop horrendously, like me and Zach Tagore, who produces all the music, and we went there and then we ended up having like a really great time, and it was like a catalyst for loads of ideas that came out. Like that came to Nova, and one of them was the New Romantics, felt like no, like in German, and EU romantic as a whole word, and we're gonna defining what the style guidelines of that.
Yeah, we're just like mapping that out like as we go, but it's like
Where should I pull it up? It's like
we've got a little listicle.
I feel like it's that Whitney meme, like Candace, but no, you better lay low. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like all the list. So it's like latex, stripes, logo sweats, polka dots, black and white, primary colors, pink, dandyism, headwear. Fucking hell, there's so many. Glamour, pointy eyes, showgirls, wet nurses, top hats, snapbacks, silhouette, structure form, rubber, posterized, very important, pop art, very important. Masquerade, I've watched that, and all of the above, you know.
Get your
Graphic, get your freak on. Graphic is probably the number one element of all of this. Graphic makeup.
Just like you've walked out of a Liechtenstein painting.
Very important. Bohemian, because the romanticism of it all. Then cutouts, Warhol, Liechtenstein, and sorry for the forced commercial break, but our camera is a bit jiggly caliente.
But like we're gonna like remix it in, and it's gonna be fabulous.
It's gonna be really fabulous. But just before we got rudely interrupted, we were shouting out Nate, who really gets it. That's the only way I can describe.
She just gets the brief, like through and through.
Through and through.
She is a risk taker.
A risk taker.
Like she seeks oblivion. Like she's playing the game. Like she knows what she's doing, and it is
a joy to see.
Yeah, we love her.
Also, it's important to say we kind of lost the plot with the 3 things that we loved about last year.
Yeah, we did, but like we're just running.
We're just running for hills.
Running.
Yeah.
Not me like relapsing into a Black Eyed Peas like motif.
But also one other highlight from last year, will.i.am's plastic wigs, like hard plastic wigs. Honestly, 10 out of 10. Like Klaus Nomi, other honorable mention. Just all very spiky hair moments.
All very graphic, hard hairlines, like helmets, like shaped into these like little motifs. You know?
Pussy on your sideburns, that's all I'm gonna say.
Pussy right on the sideburns, like so directly on the sideburn, like nowhere else.
No.
There's no place you'd rather be.
No place like home. We're not in Kansas anymore.
We're definitely not in Kansas, Mary.
And
Joseph.
The Wizard of Oz.
Like
honorable mention.
Like obviously.
Technicolor, honorable mention.
Honorable mention to the decadence and the opulence and the
glamour and the
glitz and the
beauty,
sex and the scandal.
Yes.
Like all of the above. Bring it in.
Absolutely. Was going to important a segue, but
like if we've like covered the New Romantics breakdown,
I've got the other segment.
Seggy
ways. But
Seggy Weaver.
Seggy
Weaver.
Seggy Weaver. I so agree.
Love Seggy Weaver.
Like so true.
Like love Seggy Weaver.
Diva literally is so fucking true. What was I gonna say? Yeah, this was not the best choice for covering. It's quite noisy, but it's chic.
Well, you get a little taste of the texture.
Yeah, just
like a little ASMR moment.
Anyway, back on important back on schedule, but we also started this because we feel like we're surrounded by amazing people, which we platform through our work and like through the magazine like all the time. But I feel like no one has a proper place to kind of like be silly, but also express all their feelings around their work, or like even like kind of express their personality that might be different from the work. And I feel like we're surrounded by so many great minds and so many interesting people, and people that we're sure are going to shape the cultural landscape. And we thought it would be fun to have them, artists basically. We're still defining who the upcoming guests are going to be, but
we're probably going to start within our like inner circle of friends that are also collaborators, and then we will like work out from that group to like groups that we also know, and like artists that we maybe aren't as close with, but we're like still quite heavily in contact with like online and things, including like if people that we know from other countries come in, and they can come through and we can like record an episode, just really getting the real scoop on the like the art and like like I don't know, just like sharing opinions on like important like pop culture and like a culture like type.
Yeah, I think the occult is obviously like really important to both of us, so that will come into play. We're very esoteric
like
friends.
Just everything is like coated in a little charcoal dusting, you know?
Absolutely. Powdery. Another fun favorite of the last year.
We love Powdery.
Like the feeling, like in music. Chalk. And like the feeling of like powderiness in like pictures. Like think about like
the romance.
Like I was not reading anything. I was watching a TikTok. Once again, another TikTok. Scandalo. So I was watching a TikTok about Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Oh yeah, I think you sent it to me.
Well, there you go.
And it was like, what was the tea? Was it like originally written about vampires?
Well, I initially thought that it was written for The Hunger because it really fits. Like the one, did you watch it then? Yeah,
no, I haven't watched it. I know.
You need to watch it.
It's definitely up there on the...
It's like a three of being a bisexual vampire with David Bowie and Susan Sarandon. Absolutely incredible. And it's like that kind of like blue hue, like business 80s, like black Mercedes, like kind of blue marble vibes. It's honestly, it's delicious. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
Oof, that does sound like a little delicious apple.
Absolutely. The apple doesn't fall. No, we're not bringing Charlie Xbox into it.
Not Charlie Xbox. Put the Xbox down.
Put the controller down. It's time to go to work.
Go to bed. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. We've done enough work. I agree.
Like, it's spooky girl season.
It's spooky girl season. Indeed. But yeah, I thought it was like written for the cure? The Hunger. Other Obsession. Robert Smith.
Get your dick out.
Rock out with your cock out.
Yeah, why not? Like with a dick, best of both worlds. And you boys know that. Like,
no, the call out, but they know.
Not the tea on the chaser.
On the chasers. Shout out to chasers. Actually, not shout out to chasers.
Oh my god, never shout out to chasers.
What?
Like,
where are we going?
I don't know. No. But like, I love every second of it. Don't you?
I adore it. Also, like, I feel like
really gonna get an insight into the
brains,
the fucking
schisms.
Autism schisms.
Was I gonna say? Also, like, one thing that we were talking about yesterday night was that we're both low water babies, and we just go in for the kill with the emotions and the
emotion is high. It's on full voltage.
Sizzling like a snare.
Sizzling like a motherfucking snare.
Shout out to Lizzie Grant. Can I tell the pod about that note that you had on your phone?
Oh my god, yeah. Go for it.
It was like after was that at Christmas? Like, I think we all spent like Christmas together and we partied together last year, and it was quite special. Like, we probably can say this, like, we were turfing on shrooms and we were watching Fantasia, and it was just the most magical time. And it really, like, me and Nova were like tripping together, and it was like so fucking incredible. And we put Ride by Lana, because obviously we're a Lana household in here, but
Lana, we
it's
love you.
literally. And on that note,
On that note,
Nova woke up and like she looked at her like iPhone notes, and there was like just one note that only read, "I fucking love you, Lizzie Grant," and like that is probably the best thing you've ever put down on paper. To be fair,
I mean,
I
yeah,
fucking love you, Lizzie Grant.
one of my finest pieces of writing of all time. Like,
But that was like the Disney of it all was so important this year. I feel like we slightly moved past it, but like
yeah, I feel like we're on to something new, like something, like we're always like, we'd been into the Disney geesh like quite a while ago, and then
Yeah.
it kind of like, I mean, Disney's always gonna be there because she's just like that, the most like high extreme perverted form of art. Like she's like,
it's like also like that thing that I always say about like why
she's a megalodon.
she's a megalodon for sure.
She's like a multi-million-dollar business.
But that's why I think like we're both so drawn to like popular art forms and stuff that don't feel like elitist, because like it's like kind of like the perfect marriage between like capitalism and like creativity. Not me like being like go capitalism, but what was I gonna say, like it's the perfect marriage between like it being like a high form of art, high budget, like high production value, blah blah blah, also easily accessible, like because I mean Disney movies, like what the fuck, like you grew up watching as a kid. And it's the same with pop music, and it's just like easily accessible and has a low price point for people to access it, and it doesn't feel like elitist, but you can kind of like infiltrate the culture truly. And it's the thing, exactly, it's the same with film and music, like it's just really easily accessible.
It's like formats of propaganda, basically.
Absolutely.
Like that's what every film is, essentially. It's like
It's got an
like
agenda.
yeah, like everything has an agenda behind it, like what you're trying to convey in the film, or like I don't know, they're like the subtleties of like color, even in like grading in films, like can just like switch your like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like switch your like way of thinking. Switchy. Verse.
Not the verse stop narrative entering the chat. Ryan. But I was gonna say, like, even on I think I can't remember if I was telling you or Dylan, but whenever we were watching Fantasia last Christmas, it's like gave you my heart. Shoot me, honestly, shoot me. But I hope
Gay.
very gay. I mean, are we surprised?
No, not in those bathroom stalls. Like
not the cruising bathroom stuff. That is not too much.
Deep Cruise.
Deep Cruise. Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Julie Cruise.
Julie Cruise. Julie Cruise.
Like Julie Cruise come through, mama.
Come through. No, literally,
she is the gay Paul, really.
She's so incredible. Like all her, the first what's the first album? I'm just gonna pull up the phone. Like, I swear to God, it's like called Demos or something like that. Not me, I'm putting it on my phone, and it's Cruel World by Lana. We fucking love you, Lizzie Grant.
Don't we know what that
was still that? But yeah, shout out to Julie Cruise. And one last thing about the infiltrating cultures and the agendas. Basically, when we watched Fantasia, I called my gran, who's like 87, and she went through the war in Italy and all that jazz. But she was saying, I was
shout out GUIA's Italian.
Yeah, I mean, first Italian drop on the pod.
let the Italian free.
I know. What was that? The power of Italy.
The power of Italy, like the food.
The food, not the rest, but
not the politics.
Not the politics at all. But I'm sure we'll have an Italian guest. I mean, I'm sure we'll have Matteo soon enough, so we can get into that whole jiggery at one point. But
he can teach me what it was like
to grow up gay in Italy.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah, called my gran again, Italian gran, blah blah, all of the above. And I remember watching Fantasia with her when I was a kid, and I was like, "Oh, do you remember that? Like, you used to really like it, blah blah." And then she said it was the first movie that was distributed in Italy after the war to like kind of like bring whimsy back into the life of people, to the lives of people after like the bombings and stuff like that, which I thought was really precious. And it's like one of
That makes me think of that quote that I was saying to you earlier about like in the like lore of clowning.
wait, you weren't saying that to me earlier.
Well, I may have said the phrase, but you might have not known what the context was. But like, I had this book that was called The Clown Manifesto, and it was like basically like it was really good, and it like basically said that there's only two types of clowning, and you're either comforting the disturbed or disturbing the comfortable. And I feel like that kind of rings true to what you were just saying about like
Completely.
the what was it again? Like
Fantasia.
yeah, about Fantasia being the first like film after war, because I feel like the war like traumatized people,
Yeah.
and then they like needed something that was like comforting because they were disturbed basically.
No,
But
completely.
I feel like we live in a time right now where like things need to be said through whatever various forms of like art that you like do,
Yeah.
like about your experience. And I feel like I'm ready to like disturb the comfortable basically.
Completely. And I said really stupidly, normal people scare me. Shout out Ryan Murphy.
Yeah, Miss Murphy.
Yeah, Miss Murphy on
And
the
to
pod,
like
on the beat,
circle back to snakes for a second,
and ladders.
not snakes and ladders,
Go on.
but snakes and ladders. The snake being an emblem on like medical
Absolutely.
motifs, like, which has always been such a like turn on for me, like as a snake enjoyer, as a snake advocate, like as a snake's assistant, personal assistant.
Absolute PA.
Like,
in the beat.
yeah, but that's a different story for another time anyway.
The medical snake.
But the medical snake really has always been gorgeous, and it's like that staff that comes from that like Greek myth of like Hermes and his like staff that had like two snakes wrapped around it. And
Is
like,
that not like little like Hermes like little like winged?
yeah, it's like wing. Yeah,
Winged shoes. Oh, because the stuff is winged as well.
yeah,
So good. So
yeah.
good.
But yeah, that just made me. I was doing like multiple storylines in my head at once moment just then, but I was getting to the point of Miss Ryan Murphy and Miss Sarah Paulson in
Ratchet. Other fan favorite of the last year.
Which is also an amazing series that's like about a nurse that like kind of, you know, it's about like power and like
It's definitely about power dynamics. So she kind of like is a master manipulator, but she's also like a good person.
yeah, which is like two really hard things to kind of like get into writing and like into a good story, I feel. And
no, completely.
They did it so well. But that's because Sarah Paulson is fucking amazing actress.
Queen. And I don't know, the production design is so good. Like,
it's so it feels so real, like the time period. Like I feel like he manages to like hit that so perfectly.
Absolutely.
Like even in Pose, it's like I can almost taste what it was must have felt like then.
Completely. Especially like the younger girls like house where like the two boys live and stuff. If I remember the names, like I watched it just the first series because I didn't watch the second. I was like too fragile at the time, but
it was very dark-sided, but it was very good. But what can you expect from Miss Thing? She gives you the truth.
She does. We were like saying that today that what did we say? It was about filmmaking reflecting the human condition and like good art reflecting the human condition and like I don't know, we're talking about emotion. What's new?
What's new?
Neuromathematics.
Waterpool of our existence.
Filled with tears.
Whirlpool.
What was weird? What was that? Was it a lord? Lord, other fan favorite of mine from the last year, Rebs by Lord. Incredible song. Like absolutely 10 out of 10. Amazing, incredible. What was that lyric? I swear to God it's a Lord song that's like swimming pools filled with tears. Where's that from Caution?
Oh, I don't know, but it sounds familiar.
Swimming pools.
Have a little Google.
Go on.
Google, shout out to Google.
Oh, it's from Billie Eilish, other fan favorite.
Absolutely love Billie Eilish.
So amazing. You want to guess the color of my
Knickers.
snapback knickers? I was
Like-
gonna make it more PG. No, maybe like I need to
Like,
Yeah,
don't tone it down. I'm like, Mary, like,
the dicaroni of it all.
Dicarella.
The dicarella.
I feel like Billie Eilish turned me into a dyke. Like, like, how could you not?
How could you not?
She's a phenomenal lady.
She's a phenomenal lady. I don't know if she tours the UK already, but I really wanted to go see it because she does that like live looping thing with when the party's over. Just absolutely incredible. That Chihiro song, I still cannot pronounce it, but that riff is literally like wow. And the little like outro with the like
Unholy.
Mommy don't know Daddy's getting hot.
Money! Daddy!
Other shout out to Long Legs, our sister.
Like our fucking sister. Like, why would you do that to your sister? Like,
Don't do that to my
like
sister.
sisters above all at the end of the day.
Literally
Like,
sisters above all. We literally went to see it all together. It was like me, you, Freya, and Timmy. No, me, you, Dylan, and Timmy.
yeah.
Who was it?
And Freya, maybe.
And Freya, I think. And I booked like the worst seats in the planet, but like
as in like having to strain your neck kind of vibes, but we made it work.
shout out to the view in Wood Green, but on the pod. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, literally the minute that like Nicolas Cage's long legs came on screen, we were all like, that's a sister.
That is a sister. Like, she is one of the sisters of the sisterhood.
I know.
And don't try and convince me otherwise. Like,
No. She was natural as
the
shape.
dolls with the smoke coming out of their heads. Yes, I understood that.
Absolutely.
Like, I got that. I understood that.
I still haven't seen it.
Possessed.
Oh no, you're definitely the possessed woman.
Like,
also the doll with the smoking head.
Yeah.
Like the
and the snakes that kept appearing. I was like, this is like really touching a nerve in like the most beautiful way.
And also because he was like a punk rocker and like there was like his whole room was like T-Rex and like all these bands and I don't know, it was just like really. I haven't watched it again since.
No, neither, but I want
We
to.
could.
Yeah.
We could.
Let's get to it.
Could it be fierce?
Yeah. What to round up, should we like maybe talk about like a film that we've watched recently that we've like loved, or like and a piece of music that we like love?
Yeah, let's do that. Do you want to start?
What did I watch recently? Oh, I was talking about that horror movie Smile, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were.
I watched the movie Smile. I know it came out like probably a couple of years ago now, but I hadn't got around to watching it, and I was actually like pleasantly surprised. It was like very like I wasn't completely terrified, but I could really I mean, it's really hard for me to get scared, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
possessed woman.
Try me. Like, this life has tried me, you know?
Another ASMR moment.
Just fingering the sofa.
Not fingering the sofa.
Not finger blasting the sofa.
Absolutely finger blasting.
I'm disgusting, but hey, you wouldn't have me any other way.
No.
Where was it? Yeah, I felt like it was like a really honest depiction of like what it would probably feel like to go insane, like if you were being followed by this like entity or whatever, and the way that it like the film ended, and like I'm not gonna give any spoilers in case anybody wants to watch it, but like I don't know, it was just like a really new way of depicting like the devil basically, or like an entity that was gonna possess you and kill you. Yeah. And then as for music, what have I been like snapping into? I have been snapping into quite severely Miss Kavari. Shout out to Kavari.
Shout out, friend of the pod.
We love her.
Yeah, we adore her.
Yeah, I've been listening to a track from their new album called Laudanum, which is like basically like an opium-based like tincture from like the I'm wanting to say like Victorian period, or even further back, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was the track called Born to Resist that's really been speaking to me recently, and I've been having that on loop. So that's me. What's been going on with you?
On New Year's Day, Luca like brought me to the cinema. Shout out to Luca, one of my best friends in Paris. But yeah, he was over for New Year's Eve, and then he was like really wanting to see Queer, the new Guadagnino movie, and of course, as two gay queers, we went to we went to the cinema, and it was like the most nuanced and tender like depiction of like queer love and like queer romantic life that I've seen. And it was also like based in it was like it was meant to be the 40s in Mexico, and I thought like it had really like
The 40s are coming back.
the 40s are so back.
Like so fucking back.
Like, but the 80s doing the 40s, but like the 40s and like the black and white of it all. We're giving you pointers,
40s
girls.
on the 20s, on the 20s, on the 40s, and the 40s and the 50s.
On the beat.
And the beat got sicker. Beyonce.
And I was like, look! No, okay, but back to the film review. It was serious, but like, just like Daniel Craig's like portrayal of Lee, which I guess is like William Lee Burroughs, was just incredible. So it was tender is the only word I can use, like tender, nuanced, and like was really dark at times. It was just beautiful, and I left. And Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails did the soundtrack, and it was literally fucking phenomenal. I didn't see challengers because all the most annoying people in the world said that it was the best film, and it just put me off, called me a hater, whatever. But
I watched it and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be way more scandalous.
yeah, everyone's like, oh my God, I feel like it's just because there's a gay kiss and there's a threesome.
Yeah, and I'm like, get over yourself, girl.
Literally,
The amount of gay kisses I've seen.
Ugh.
The amount of gay kisses I've partaken in.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I sure do what you mean.
Anyway, but that's besides the point.
That's for another time.
What were the music things saying with you? What have you been listening to?
The Cure, the last album they dropped. I love Robert Smith, especially their first track called Alone and Incroyable. And then Zach was showing me this song. It was like a project by Sophie and another producer. Like it's just like a random side project called Aspire, and the tracks are just like Aspire 2 and 3. But Aspire 2 is just the perfect like 80s like nostalgia, just like the chord progression in it is crazy. So very niche track, but
niche. We love niche.
But yeah, maybe we should wrap this up as the first episode. But come to House Off on this well, no, it's gonna be done by then.
Wow. Yeah. I hope you come to House Off and
on the 17th.
Yeah, like we hope you came through and had a nice time and pied with us.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday, bitch. Love you.